What is going on, FA Nation? John F. here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Live Show. It is Monday. 6 games on tap here today. A little shorter slate as we head into the week here. Obviously, a big Tuesday to come here. Grande, how are we doing, friend?
We are definitely doing Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, indeed. Joe Ryan, Logan Webb, Jack Flaherty were your top 3 price starting pitchers. We broke this down on the preview show this morning. If you guys didn't check that out, certainly plenty of time for you to go and do that. As expected, Jack Flaherty among the highest rostered pitchers, Joe Ryan among the highest rostered pitchers, and Logan Webb among the highest rostered pitchers because, well, we didn't really find there to be too many overly appealing options, basically, once you got past the top 3. Have you changed your preference when it comes to the top 3 there?
In terms of what? Like,
do you have in terms of like ranking them? If you're building a lineup right now, which
Flaherty, small gap, Logan Webb, pretty big gap, Joe Ryan. And that is one. Flaherty, I think, as a baseline, has the highest strikeout upside. And then on top of that gets the White Sox. Logan Webb pitches in his home ballpark, and Joe Ryan is pitching in a death park. So I think pretty comfortably Jack Flaherty's number 1 for me. Like, if you want to make the case that Ryan's number 2, you definitely can. There's a little bit of a discount from going from Ryan to Webb. But yeah, I would say pretty comfortably Jack Flaherty 1. And then, they're all very good because they're all very good pitchers. But yeah, that's how I would rank them, basically in reverse as they're priced.
Sure. Joe Ryan is getting a little bit more ownership than Logan Webb right now. So you get not only the slightly cheaper price tag, but also the slightly less rostership on Logan Webb from Joe Ryan. Jack Flaherty is the highest rostered as it sits right now. Still, obviously, 2 hours to roster lock. Things can change. When you go down to the next tier, Dustin May is actually getting 24% at home against the Mets. That feels like it could be a bit of a scary matchup for a quarter of the field to be willing to put some money down on today. We did highlight his increased strikeout rate of late. And then Luis Severino is behind him in that 15% range, a guy that has pitched really, 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 really well on the road and really, really, really bad at home. And he has a home start here against Minnesota. Thoughts on Dustin May? Is just a short slate, people chasing the recent strikeout surge?
The peripherals look really good for Dustin May this year. 3.5 Sierra, 3.4 xFIP, 52% ground ball rate, just a smidge under 30% fly ball rate, not a lot of hard contact. Obviously, we talk strikeouts, now up to 25% on the year, up over a strikeout per 9 innings. It's been pretty good for Dustin May after like kind of a shaky middle part of this. Like, got off to a really good start. Then he wasn't, but like, it's interesting. So coming into the year, he had never thrown a slider before. He is throwing 40% sliders this year, which is kind of insane because he had never thrown it before. And now his fastball is basically a sinker, where he only throws fastballs 15% of the time, and he's throwing a sinker 41% of the time. So he's really changed his pitch mix. The slider and the sinker both ranking as plus pitches for him. So I kind of like Dustin May if you're looking to get off the top 3 and looking for lower owned pitchers. You're not wrong. Like, the Mets are top 10 in basically every category against right-handed pitching. 6th in OPS and WOBA, 7th in WRC+, 8th in ISO. But I do think there's some merit to getting to Dustin May with, how well he's pitched. The Severino stuff is Oh man, it's really interesting because even when you look, like, the numbers obviously surface level say that he hasn't pitched well at home.
Yeah.
But like, we always talk about how surface level doesn't always tell the full story. It hasn't really been, I think, as bad under the hood as, his 6.20 ERA. Like, all 4 home runs he's allowed have been at home. That obviously stinks, but like, he has a 7 ERA at home, and it's a 4 xFIP. It's a 3.8 FIP. I mean, he still gets a ton of ground balls. The strikeout rate is actually a little bit elevated at home compared to on the road. And he still, when you're talking about home and road, like, he still gets almost 40% ground ball rate. So I'm not like totally against it. Minnesota's offense obviously is a little better than it was a week ago. Getting Buxton back, getting Willie Castro back, getting Wallner back. Like, they're obviously healthier than they were a week ago or so. Correa's been good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate the Severino one. Obviously, the ballpark just really sucks. But again, he has, under the hood, pitched better than what the numbers suggest on the surface. Because, when I do the pre-show, it's just a lot of surface level stuff. Like, we're looking at, and then, so if you're looking to save money, I don't hate it. I also don't think there's much else. Like, Brady Singer.
We did just get the report that Richard Fitz is going to be 75 to 80 pitches tonight.
Okay.
I mean, he really wasn't awful this year.
No.
He gets the Angels now. He goes 80 pitches. Maybe he gets you 5-6 innings tonight.
Yeah, I don't hate it if you're trying to get to, like, Dodgers.
Yeah,
like, if you're
$100. I mean,
yeah,
15% of the field is playing Aaron Savale tonight. So,
Did you see my tweet earlier?
I don't think so.
So Aaron Savale, this year, and it's a small sample. Do you know what his ground ball rate is to left-handed bats?
Is it 0?
0.
Okay.
How is that? Like, again, it's like obviously it's 3.
Nothing but line drives and fly balls off Aaron Savale.
76.5% fly ball rate. Is that not, like, it's
not the ballpark you want that number in? That's not the ballpark.
41% hard hit rate, 76% fly ball rate, 23.5% line drive rate, 0% ground ball rate. I don't understand. Like, that's obviously not possible to, like, maintain, but
so were you on, like, a Will Benson home run tonight or something like that?
I mean, there's gonna be home runs. Like, Cincinnati has a bunch of lefties there, and they're like hitting them right at the top of the order. Lux,
well, they just put Hayes back in the IL, so they got to get another outfielder up there.
Yeah,
so.
Friedel, Lux, Ellie, 1, 2, 3 tonight. So, like, they're going lefty, lefty, lefty right off rip. Yeah, that, I mean, that play is, the Reds haven't been great this year. I mean, at home against right-handed pitching this year, 16th in OPS, 15th in WOBA, 13th in ISO. That is as mid as possible. That is a middle of the, like, if you're doing the average law of averages, that is probably 15th when you do those 3 numbers together. But, like, even in the 3 starts, like, nothing has looked good for Aaron Savale. So, yeah, I definitely am more on the Reds than I am on the Aaron Savale side of things.
Sure. I agree with you there. Anything else you want to talk about? You did briefly mention Singer before I cut you off there. Is there a thought on Singer here?
Yeah, I mean, the lefties are scary, and Yelich is playing today. It's something we had talked about last night. But, like, righties don't do anything against Brady Singer. The strikeouts are obviously back to basically being non-existent. They were there to start the year. Milwaukee's just bad, kind of. Like, they've been better lately. I'll grant them that. Like, they've had some big games lately. But 25th in OPS and WRC plus against righties, 24th in WOBA, 26th in ISO. Like, that's all bottom 6 in the league stuff. I don't So I don't hate Singer. The Stephen Kolek thing is a little interesting because righties do nothing against him, and it's obviously a big park upgrade.
Yeah.
Lefties are what torment him. Other than Jung-Hoo Lee and Yastrzemski, who are the lefties that scare us in the
right.
and Jung-Hoo Lee's a good hitter, but does he scare anybody? You know, like he is like slap the ball around the yard for doubles more than he is like gonna hit 2 home runs out. So I know the San Diego hasn't gotten linked out of their starters the last couple days, and they need to get linked out of Kolek. He has not been great, but righties have done nothing against him, and they have a boatload of those in their projected lineup. They don't have a lineup out, but I don't hate Kolek. I probably wouldn't play him before I played a cheaper Dustin May, but just throw Kolek out there for what it's worth. He's in a pretty decent spot here.
Our guy S Penny pop it in. Yeah, we actually just mentioned that maybe right before you tuned in. On this slate at $6,600, he definitely good enough to give him a look. Like I said, like 15% of the field is going with Savale, and we just went over those numbers for him. I'd feel more comfortable with Fitz here in Fenway going 80 pitches and maybe getting it done. But we saw the good and the bad of the Angels over the weekend. On Sunday, Gavin Williams shut them down. On Saturday, it was Ciccone giving up all the home runs, right? So,
and Friday, Kahanowitz got shelled too, right? It's the other way around. I think Friday and Kahanowitz Saturday. Ortiz. Yep.
Ortiz pitched well enough, gave up like 8 hits.
Yep.
But all the home runs went to get Ciccone, and then Gavin Williams was an ace. So they're either going to homer or they're going to strike out, and we'll see what happens here. But I do feel better about Fitz with the pitch count there in that start. Anything else that pitcher?
No.
Okay. Catcher position, again, shorter slate. We kind of highlighted going with Narvaez at $3,500. Anything for you differently here at catcher today?
I mean, I really like Will Smith if I'm spending up for Dodgers. Like if I'm getting Dodgers, I think Smith would be a priority for me. Hopefully the Dodgers do their due diligence, which I'm sure they will, and look at the Blackburn splits from last year, because oh boy, righties absolutely killed him at the major league level. 305 average, 386 WOBA, 481 xFIP, over 2 home runs per 9 innings. And this is a guy who got a lot of ground balls, 38% fly ball rate to right-handed bats. So if and when we get the Dodgers lineup and Smith's in it, I would absolutely spend up there.
Yeah, I do wonder if we would get a rushing, so just 3 straight starts for Will Smith.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly could be. Can the man? I'm still would rather go Webb over Fitz.
Yes.
Fitz is only if you're like Grande said, like spending up on Dodgers or something today.
Yeah, trying to jam offense, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yep, agreed. All right, so after Will Smith, obviously Narvaez. Anything else you target here?
So Stevenson in a stack makes a lot of sense.
Just hitting cleanup.
Just hitting right in the middle of that lineup. Yeah. Rushing Narvaez, punt Corey Lee if you're not playing Flaherty.
Sure.
Punt. If they play Patrick Bailey, I know he's been kind of a corpse. He's been a little bit better, but like lefties against Stephen Kolek.
Sure. First base position, then obviously you have your Dodgers, you have Alonso, Rhys Hoskins has been really good. Thoughts here at first?
Yeah, I mean, Dodgers look great. Torque's not playing tonight, I believe. Parker Meadows, welcome back.
Yeah, Parker Meadows leading off right away.
Here's the leadoff position for you.
They sent down Eaton. He lasted about 1 game.
Hell yeah.
Romy getting the call back up.
Yeah, Romy getting the call. Hoskins, Soderstrom. Like, I wouldn't be terrified to play guys against Joe Ryan just because the ballpark, but like I also can see a scenario where you're like, yeah, he's too good. Don't need to go there. Steer in a stack. Shanuel looks fine. Romy looks fine. Vargas, Keith, like Toro is in the lineup. We were talking, we were kind of talking about.
I think I would play Toro here. I think if I'm spending down at first, because again, you can play Ohtani in the outfield if you want. We lost one of the value plays where we were at least sort of targeting. I don't mind Toro here at $2,800. Gonna hit from the right side. Gonna have the green monster on the pull side for him.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. You can play Toro for $700 cheaper than Romy, and Romy is about, 15% higher in rostership. Yeah. So like you get a significant lineup. It's a one positional lineup change for $700 cheaper.
Yeah,
but everyone wants to play Romy over Toro. I mean, just give me the discount of Toro. Is there a big difference between playing Romy Gonzalez and Abraham Toro in the year of 2025? I mean, not if you're telling me that one of them is 20% owned and one of them's 5%, I guarantee you, if Romy Gonzalez hit 4 home runs, I'd sleep like a baby knowing I played the guy 15% lower owned.
Yeah, obviously he is never, Abraham Toro, the numbers are never going to jump off the page, but last year played 30 games for Oakland, hit 286 against left-handed pitching. Good enough. This year he's 3 for 10 against left-handed pitching. So again, obviously super small sample size here, but he's not. It's kind of his better split. So going back to at least to last season, so I'm good with Abraham Toro there, just as a punt play. And then Cole Keith against Cannon. At 3K, you mentioned. I don't mind that, getting the Tigers in your lineup.
Yep.
Second base. Where do you look to start building here?
Terang looks good. The ownership on the Brewers is fascinating tonight. Because it's obviously like such a good ballpark upgrade for them. They've just been such a bad offense largely this year. They've been better lately. Singer's bad against lefties. So like this is a pretty good spot for them, but they're just so popular. Glaber is in a good spot. Jonathan Cannon's really struggled against righties this season.
Okay.
And some of the peripheral stuff is really suggesting righties are ultimately going to be the better split against Jonathan Cannon.
I was going to get a lot of lefties tonight.
He's going to get a lot of lefties. I mean, service level 183 ISO against lefties, 159 ISO against righties. So behind the hood, 152 expected ISO to lefties, 209 expected ISO to righties, 512 xFIP to righties, 15% strikeout rate compared to 20% against lefties, and his elevated fly ball rate, 45% comes against righties. So it's interesting, like 275 BABIP against righties. It's like interesting that it's the lefties have been better. The righties numbers should come around for. So I do like Glaber hitting second in the order. He's also one of the guys that will never be like, they don't pinch hit for, which is rare because the Tigers pinch hit everybody. Like, I guess Justin Henry Malloy getting sent down helps us a little bit there. We're like,
sure, yeah,
maybe now they have less pinch hitting options potentially. Yeah, so I think the top two guys, probably the only two I'd play over 4K. I don't love the Cronenworth price. Tommy Edman, he's been really good, but
yeah. Again, if Kim's obviously in the lineup, you'd go there. I mentioned all of Minnesota is going to be in play today with the ballpark. Beatty hit 5th the other day. You can play Keith here. Then you really go down a lot of punt plays if we wanted to get there.
Yeah, the field's punting, and I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate Rengifo. I don't hate Rojas. I don't hate Monasterio, but I don't have like anything good to say about them either. It's just like I'm gonna save at this position, hope they get a hit and score a run and give me 5, and then I can spend up elsewhere.
Basically, speaking of spending up elsewhere, at third base we have Rafael Devers. He is your highest rostered third baseman today by more than double.
Yeah,
almost 25%. There was also video of him today fielding ground balls at Fenway Park.
So I saw the glove.
Yeah.
And then I saw him standing at first, And then I thought he was trolling because it was not a first baseman's glove.
It was not a first baseman's glove. You know where he was fielding ground balls from?
Second.
Shortstop.
He's trolling. Oh, this is great.
Alex Cora was asked just moments ago about Rafael Devers fielding ground balls. And do you know what Alex Cora said? I did not know he was doing that.
Oh, this is, I was talking to my dad today because my dad was talking about the Yankees homestand is like Cleveland and then Boston. And I was like, oh, love that Boston's coming to town. He's like, why? I'm like, oh, they're a mess.
Yeah.
He's like, really? I'm like,
from Atlanta, though.
No, they did. No, they did. Like, the team is fine. Like,
no, it's not.
The playing, well, yeah, it's just organizationally, nobody knows what's going on. Pitchers don't know they're on pitch counts. Top prospects are getting passed up by 29-year-olds.
Yeah.
I mean,
Roman's going to make his debut in New York. He'll be fine.
I hope he does.
Anyways, Devers is 25%. We were all in on him to begin with.
Yeah.
No problems getting to him there.
He might be the best play of the slate.
Yeah, honestly, him or Ohtani, obviously, or Ellie, which we'll get to. Yeah. Ellie's going to play this series out and then go on bereavement. So,
okay.
So you'll have that there also. Royce Lewis is your second highest rostered third baseman today. A man that I don't think is taking a bat to the plate. Hasn't had a hit since May 21st. So that's just pure ballpark splits, right?
Yes.
Like that's all we're doing with that.
That's a click and pray.
That's people catches one in the Sacramento win. I don't know. Like, what do we?
That's just people hoping that Royce Lewis figures out how to play baseball again at $3,400.
It's gonna be 90 degrees at game time. Wind blowing out 10 miles an hour in Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great pitching weather at all. It's unfortunate this game doesn't start like earlier because it would be.
He's got to actually hit the ball.
He's got to hit the ball.
Otherwise, you can go to Muncie, like Ken the man saying here. Like,
yeah, I mean, the guy has glasses. That's all he needed.
Not in his photo, but in real life.
In real life, yes. The glasses help him in real life and at the plate. Yeah, I mean, I'm paying up for Devers here. Tyler Anderson has almost allowed 3 home runs per 9 innings to lefties and a 54% fly ball rate.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get him out. 303 ISO, just cannot get lefties out. So I will be playing Rafael Devers. But yeah, like Muncie, Kike, Lewis, Beatty, like that tier all looks good as well. You could play any of those guys. Javi at third. You could play Javi at third now because they're playing Javi all around the yard again because in preparation for the Parker Meadows return, like they can't move Meadows around like they can move Javi. So you could play righties against Cannon for sure.
Sure. Anything else for value? Anything worth playing?
No.
Okay. Shortstop. Up at the top, there is Ellie De La Cruz hitting third. You mentioned Savali not allowing a ground ball to a lefty. So you get Ellie hitting a line driver, ball in the air. Generally, could see that ball leave the park.
Yep.
Him, Lindor, Nato, all up at the top. Jacob Wilson hitting 350. Got him at $4,500. And then you with the slick move adding Correa last night during the preview show. I have to imagine you have some interest in him in DFS today as well.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie's my top shortstop. If we can get the Savali numbers to hold for one more game where he's not allowing ground balls, that would be nice against this lefty heavy Milwaukee pitching staff or lefty heavy Cincinnati lineup. That would be nice. Ellie has as high a ceiling as anyone else. I mean, 3 times in the last 10 games, he's gone for 30 plus fantasy points. So love De La Cruz. I would play Mookie for the record if he's in the lineup. I don't know if he will be, but it's going to be like today or tomorrow, I think, where he makes his return with this broken foot where he just is magically going to play through it, or broken toe, whatever he has.
Stubbed his toe, fractured it or whatever.
When I stub my toe, I usually don't fracture it. I'm assuming he really he kicked something. I don't know. I've stubbed my toe a lot, never fractured it, and he's
Your toe doesn't have a lot of protection if you do stub it hard enough, like the bones.
Sure. And he probably has like, much like sturdier, nicer furniture than me. So that's fair. Yeah, I would play him if he's in the lineup because of the righties. Definitely could play Jacob Wilson. He's very good at hitting.
4 for 4 against Toronto.
Yeah, he's just really good at hitting. Correa, I think has just been good since his return from injury. Like he had obviously been struggling a lot, got concussed and like snapped back into like, oh, I can hit home runs and stuff. So he's hit 3 home runs since he's returned from the concussion stuff. That looks good. I don't really is the story ownership as high as it was earlier in the day? Yeah, man.
I mean, I told you why. He's basically only homering off soft stuff, and this would be the right split for him against the lefty, and he's back home. Yeah. It's all kind of adding up for Story to have a good day here. And people on a small slate are buying Red Sox offense versus Anderson here.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, we've picked on Tyler Anderson a lot. It's not like that's not something new. So I'd play it if you're stacking Red Sox, but there's not a whole lot else I'd play.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, there's not a lot of value here. The outfield again obviously has some obvious spends up. Ohtani, Buxton, Teoscar's up there. You have your Red Sox outfield. You have your Detroit outfield, Cincinnati. So, in terms of like speaking team stacks, how would you kind of rank out your top offenses come to outfield today?
Dodgers, Reds would probably be 1 and 2. I think the Yelich being in definitely helps the Milwaukee side of things.
The price on Milwaukee at 47 and 44 for Chourio Yelich is nice.
Yeah, and even Jake Bauers at 4K in the outfield. So you have and Frelick at 38.
And Frelick's been on fire.
Yeah, you have four Milwaukee outfielders that you can play with ceiling in a really good ballpark. The thing is, and probably the reason why I'd rank Cincy ahead of Milwaukee is solely ownership based. I mean, Milwaukee's getting 50 times the ownership than Cincinnati. I don't even know if people realize Cincinnati's at home.
They're not. Friedel's got 4%. Lux has 4%. Benson's even less than that, 2%. Ellie is 10%. So, as it stands right now, no one's playing the Reds at home against Savale.
I don't think people have any clue what's happening tonight. Well, and you said it. People are playing Savale, and I guess from like this standpoint, like if you play Ellie, you are basically making that decision to play him over because how much of the field is
Devers and everybody, like you can't afford them.
You can't, and you're, the almost 30% of the field is playing 2 of the top 3 starters, right? So you just can't play. You can't play Dodgers, or you can't play, like the top of the Boston lineup, basically. So
you play Rob Refsnyder.
You play Rob Refsnyder.
Last 5 years, batting average versus left-handed pitching. Last 5 years.
Okay.
314, 302, 308, 359, 304. So
good.
300 hitter against left-handed pitching since 2021.
Wasn't he going to retire?
He was. Yeah. ISO this year versus left-handed pitching, 400. With a 714 slug. ISO last year against left-handed pitching, 246 with a 548 slug. The year before that, it was just 092, still a 400 slugging and an 830 OPS. The year before that, 2022, 230 ISO, but 1,000 OPS and a 594 slugging. This dude is just 448 WOBA, 400 WOBA, 370, 425, 350 WOBA those 5 years against. Dude just eats, gets paid millions of dollars to play part-time against left-handed pitching. And he's 15%. He's probably going to homer today. Just the way those things break.
Them the breaks.
So Parker Meadows, first game off IL, is your highest roster player today.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I mean, like, He's good. He's a good player, but highest rostered player, like sure, he's leading off.
Power, speed.
Yeah, I mean
Blackburn, not Blackburn. What's his
Cannon?
Cannon, yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's good.
Dude, the red stack seems super appealing now that we're like kind of highlighting the 0 ownership on it.
Dude, you guys the same ownership as the pitcher's ground ball rate that they're facing.
Yeah,
zero.
Riley Green's getting the least amount of ownership of the outfielders. It's Parker and Carpenter, the top 2, and Green's around 10%, which again, you're Riley Green considered to be the best outfielder, maybe the best player on that team. So
yeah,
probably just an ownership thing for a price point thing for him at 4,800. Anything else for you?
I mean, you could play Wallner. Minnesota,
Twins,
Minnesota. Yeah, they're gonna look pretty good. I think the Athletics are really cheap. If you do just look at that game and say, well, there's 10% wins in really warm weather, like Brent Rooker 44, Lawrence Butler 42, the Soderstrom 41. Those prices are like kind of insane. Who was the batter you said would probably homer today?
I said Will Benson, I think might be what he's referring to because of the fly ball lefty numbers. But also Rob Refsnyder would be, I think, of the 2 that I like highlighted as possible homers. I don't think I would ever say Sal Frelick is probably
no, that's no. You would that would be an insane take by
now that it's been said though. He is in Cincinnati, so it's possible he pokes one, but he would be down the list for me. I think Will Benson potentially homers tonight and Rob Refsnyder.
I'll say Ellie. I'll be easy. Sure. I'll take the easy way out and say Ellie Dale Cruz.
Yeah, but I think I specifically mentioned the Benson when you mentioned the fly ball numbers for.
You know who's going to hit their second home run tonight, John? Gavin Lux, $3,500.
Okay,
hitting second.
Okay,
I'm in on the Reds. I mean,
dude,
I'm in on the Reds.
And also, I like again, we're a Minnesota Twins show. The example lineup I put in our chat, which doesn't work anymore because Eaton got sent down.
4 Twins,
4 Twins. So can make
it's viable. Willie Castro's here at 32 as well. Like you play him at second or the outfield to get exposure to that game.
All right, I think we've committed. We got Ellie. I'm doing Benson.
Lux 35. Refsnyder.
Yeah, Refsnyder.
We're not building the line anyway.
No, I know. And then we'll do Flaherty. So
maybe throw El Toro in there.
Yeah, Abraham and first. All right. Example core play lineup. Again, guys, we'll have the full lineup posted in the Discord for you guys. Cody Clemens respects his work. For sure.
We're Cody Clemens respecters on this show.
Yeah, man. For sure. We like Minnesota. They're a good team.
I know we talked too much about Minnesota. We tried to dial it back because
we try to dial it back, but we talk too much. All right. So to prevent our show from getting pulled down from YouTube, we've started doing core plays. We will post the completed lineup in our Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description. So get in the Discord, go to the MLB channel. You'll see the completed lineup in there. Good luck tonight, everybody. Playbook is out. We'll be back with a preview show tonight. Short show today, obviously a short slate. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Big slate tomorrow. So hopefully we can line those pockets, make those accounts grow tonight, and have some money to spend for tomorrow's slate. We'll see you then.